Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our podcast Classical Discoveries. We are very thankful that you join us again today, and we want to talk about this. So Jens, now we talk about our, how we say, the name of our podcast is Classical Discoveries. But the question is how to discover a discovery. Is this correct?
That's perfectly correct, and I think we have the perfect classical discoveries guest here.
We have the perfect classical discovery guest here. This is my, may I say, old friend, Werner Ehrhardt.
Please.
Hey, hello, Werner. It's a great pleasure to have you here. Werner Ehrhardt, he is the founder and long-time leader of the music ensemble Concerto Köln, and later on, also long-time leader and founder of ensemble L'arte del mondo.
Same time long.
Same time long. That means how old we are already together. And I had the great honor to visit him already in 1988. 1988, oh my God. And that time, therefore I did some research, you see. I looked in the archive and you see what I found?
Really, all the old photos, yeah.
Do you remember most of them? Yeah, of course. You know.
Really.
I think this was a promotional picture, no? Yeah.
This was promotional picture,
Yeah.
It was really the first picture with a professional photograph.
Yeah. But you, I have to say, you are really a kind of chief discoverer, or chief discoverer. No, it's a bad chief.
No, absolutely. A chief
discoverer. A chief discoverer. And I have to say that really you changed my life. In 1988, you changed my life, because when I joined Capriccio, I was far away to listening to Baroque music. I was more in this romantic, Wagner, Tchaikovsky, Dvorak. And then I came to a first recording session to you, and I said, you also can play it like this.
If we go back to 1985, which I think was the year when you founded Concerto Köln, Cologne was a bit the Mekka for old music. There had been Musica Antiqua, which I think Goebel founded maybe 7 years prior to that.
Yes.
So it was a little bit like the German London, where suddenly...
Exactly.
And you had Capella Coloniensis before.
There was Capella Coloniensis, there was Collegium Aureum, which was like Concentus Musicus.
Yeah.
And
is there something in the water near the Rhine, or didn't have to do with a school that
they don't drink water? They have Kölsch. They don't need water. Is there something in Kölsch? Might be the question.
I think two things. It was the broadcast, WDR. They did many recordings there.
Yeah.
And there was for example, my teacher, Franz Josef Meyer. He was the leader of Collegium Aureum, and he was teaching in the high school, and they founded together the first Bach lessons in high school.
Okay.
Sorry, when you say high school, you mean the conservatory, the Hochschule? Right?
Hochschule.
Right.
And it's a high school, the whole name? Musikhochschule.
The conservatory or the...
Conservatory.
Okay.
Would be, yeah.
Yeah.
And through this, students came from all over the world in order to do old music.
But why you? I mean, you told me a secret that you were on the motorcycle, you were playing rock music. Why you started studying suddenly period instruments? Was it too boring on the motorcycle?
No, it was, yes, but my teacher was always, when I came with my helmet and my leather jacket, and I always put my violin there into the back on the motorcycle, and then I came with all this stuff. He was looking so like that. But then one day I had to play Bach solo sonatas.
Okay.
And then on one day he showed me a Baroque bow, and he said, maybe you want to try it. And so it came like a roll. It came step by step.
But ladies and gentlemen, I had the honor already 8 years ago. If you're thinking now or how to get a little experience, how a discovery gets discovered, or how to discover a discovery, I had the honor to make with Werner a promotional video 8 years ago about an opera you wanted to release from Salieri, La Scuola de Gelosi. And we started really from the nothing, from the beginning.
Yes.
So let's see how that happened.
Diese Oper war ein unglaublicher Erfolg damals. Goethe hatte diese Oper gesehen und war vollkommen begeistert.
Das ist wie Rossini, das ist unglaublich. Ne?
Salieri als konservativen Musiker zu sehen, das ist vollkommener Quatsch. Er ist wirklich ein Neuerer. Und deswegen war ja auch diese La Scuola di Gelosi, die er dann dort in Venedig gemacht hatte, schlug ja als Riesenerfolg ein, weil diese Musik einfach auf einmal so flott, so modern, so schnell daherkam. Venedig, 27. Dezember 1778 war die Uraufführung. Das ist das Autograph von Salieri. Und man spürt richtig, wie diese Noten leben und auch einen Schwung haben, einen Schwung der Gedanken.
Die Noten sind in diesem Falle Stichnoten, die ich reingeschrieben habe. Die sind ergänzt worden aus dem Wiener Manuskript. Weil das Wiener Manuskript da hat er ein paar Sachen noch verbessert anschließend. Das sieht man auch, dass er das ausgebessert hat. Und deswegen hat mein Bruder mich gebeten, das kenntlich zu machen und in die Noten reinzuschreiben. Das wollte er dann ausprobieren beim Arbeiten, ob er das mit reinnimmt oder nicht. Ne?
Da, Contessa Durante.
Das ist die Besetzung, ne?
Das ist die Besetzung.
Unglaublich.
Bei einer Zauberflöte weiß man ganz genau schon seit Generationen, wie der eine klingen muss und die andere Rolle und dergleichen. Hier ist es so, dass man das gar nicht genau, man muss das erstmal für sich ganz klar machen. Für mich ist wichtig diese Lebendigmachung und darin auf einmal zu spüren, eben, was hat damals die Leute bewogen, dass sie so begeistert waren. Und ich stelle es immer wieder fest, dass wenn man an den Kern, an den Spirit der Musik wirklich herankommt, setzt sich die Begeisterung auch in die heutige Zeit fort.
Why Salieri?
Why
Salieri? Yeah.
Salieri? Because for everyone, Salieri, he was the loser and the bad guy.
Okay.
And on the other hand, it was in some way unlogical that Salieri was so important for Vienna, and that all the important composers like Beethoven or Schubert, they went to Salieri in order to learn something. So in some way he was helping Mozart, because the whole cast of La Scuola di Gelosi, it was the cast of Mozart when he wrote his operas, Così fan tutte and Figaro.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and also Salieri brought Da Ponte, the librettist Da Ponte, to Vienna,
Okay.
and so could start the collaboration between Mozart and Da Ponte.
Yeah.
And there are so many things that you see that he was very important. And if you listen to that music, that he's a really good composer. So it was for me very interesting to do this.
It was fascinating for me the first time to have the original handwriting of Salieri in their hands, you know. And I was really wondering that we didn't have to put glass on, you know. Yeah. But he said then, oh, this old paper doesn't matter, you know. But the more modern paper, the Bruckner scores, they are much more dangerous for this.
Yeah, because the paper is not so good. Yeah.
And I'm very glad we're talking about Salieri because it's a double anniversary, of course, of Salieri.
Again.
It's 275th year of his birth and the 200th of his death.
Ah, okay.
And of course, in Vienna, you think they'd be putting on at least a Salieri opera at the Theater Nevin or even the Staatsoper. No such thing. We have a Strauss here because that was necessary. But that's why we're here. Classical
That's why we're here, for classical discoveries. But for Capriccio, you really did 19 albums and 3 for Phoenix. And if I'm going back, I see you started very comfortable with Vivaldi.
Yes.
So we have to show we also can do Vivaldi. But suddenly then comes this La Prise de la Bastille. This is an amazing concept, how to say, a concept program.
A concept album.
Concept
Before there
album.
were concept albums.
Yeah, concept albums about music which has to do with the Paris Revolution.
Yeah, it was the anniversary in that year, and we thought, let's look what music was composed in that time or to this occasion.
But I also have to say that in 1988 you had no internet, no?
Yes, exactly.
So where did you find it? I mean, you could not Googling it.
No.
You travel to Paris and then you find... Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really that you had to go into the bibliothèques,
The archives or the
Archives.
libraries.
archives. You had something like the researches of the New Grove.
The Grove.
The lexicon New Grove,
yeah.
where you could find this piece.
Yeah.
There are manuscripts in this archive, and this there. And it was even not so much developed. The articles about the composers.
Yeah. But I think the Groves must really be happy because you filled them up.
Yeah.
Later on, with so many composers, they never have been in the Groves, you fill them up. Yeah. And to give you just a short impression, how La Prise de la Bastille can sound, I love this from Dittersdorf. We're listening now a bit from the first movement. Yeah.
And speaking of talking about classical discoveries, you have discovered more classical discoveries than I have forgotten, or is it the other way around? Anton Zimmermann, Karl von Ordóñez, Johannes Matthias Sperger, Johannes Abraham Peter Schulz. Sometimes I'm thinking you just made these names up, but I...
No.
You're composed by your own.
And they all have been very successful and important persons in their time.
And some may have heard of Joseph Martin Kraus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. This I remember that you suddenly then came up with this Joseph Martin Kraus, and the first CD was so successful that we did a second one, and then you made a festival, and then suddenly the name Kraus became more and more famous. I remember I was just somewhere in the mountains up in the Alps, listening to the Austrian radio, and they hear from Salzburg Festival, someone played Kraus, and I said, wow, Werner did it. He made him famous. Yeah.
I mean, Kraus became sort of a poster boy for the beautiful music that we have just had no clue about.
Yeah.
And how wonderful it is. And we were talking earlier a little bit. Kraus does have the very catchy nickname, the Swedish Mozart.
Yeah, yeah.
But you pointed out that it's actually not really all that Mozartian, and that if you try to play it like
Exactly.
Mozart,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be very
And I think there have been some attempts to do Kraus music, to play it, but with the in the way like you would play Mozart, in this gallant and very, very nice way. But no, the music of Kraus is so full of energy and of a spirit like Beethoven. It's really a romantic gesture is in the music, and you have to fill this music also with this impact of energy and dramatic power. And this music is not so charming, but it's full and rich of imagination,
This is a good point, because I prepared the Sinfonia da Chiesa. I love the Sinfonia da Chiesa. You know?
Haydn said, what about which symphony of...
the C minor symphony of Kraus. He said this is one of the best music he ever got under his eyes.
That's good praise coming from Haydn.
Yeah.
I think you love to travel, because you have been in Paris for this La Prise de la Bastille, you have maybe been in Stockholm for Kraus, and then I think, but we cannot deny.
And in Assisi.
Yeah, but we cannot forget our fantastic trip to Venice because of Mr. Durante.
Yeah.
And this is the recording you... Was heißt Entjungfern?
You was deflowered, that deflowered you.
This was the recording, you deflowered me. I said, okay, so, I mean in musical way. Because when I hear this, how you play this, I never heard from Durante, but when I hear this and how you make music out of this, then I really, oh my God, I was yours.
So that's contemporary, or just after, a little bit later, a little bit younger perhaps than Vivaldi. But a nice contrast, you have the Neapolitan style and the Venetian style.
This is very interesting if you compare it, the Venetian style with Vivaldi and this music. And especially you can hear in other concertos the the harmonies, the Neapolitan harmonies.
It's different than the Venice harmonies. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's much richer. It's
Oh, really?
yeah.
Neapolitan is much richer than
Neapolitan music.
How do you learn that? I mean, do you already know that, discovering the score, or is it learning by doing that you get to appreciate these specific turns of phrases, that something is specifically Neapolitan versus Venetian?
I'm a practical musician more. I'm not so much a theorist, and I have really to play it, to try it out, to look in the music, and then you feel the music teaches you, no, that's not the way I like to be handled. You have to do it in another way. And so I think we got step by step always to these composers, and it was very important always to think, no, what we know up to now is only something, but here we have to be open really to get what the composer wants to tell us.
So I remember a beautiful recording with Andreas Steyer, and you had this wonderful DUSSEK piano concertos.
Yeah.
So Mr. DUSSEK was a
Beethoven contemporary, yeah?
Beethoven contemporary, yeah.
So you're already encroaching on the Romantic era, but in a way you were ahead of your time. Nowadays, some people complain, some people really love it, how the Herweges of this world, they've moved on from Bach to the classical period, to the Romantic period, and then they move on to Frank Martin or Brahms. You had also with Steyer, not on this label though, recorded John Field back in the day, piano concertos.
Yeah, exactly.
So you already did the same thing back then, which was probably the late 90s maybe?
Yeah, and in some way you go on and you are interested in the other sound in the next period, and also in the development. How was the aesthetic developing in the sound, in the kind how you have been playing? So I can understand that we musicians try to go on and not to stay in the same period.
But who the hell came to you and said, make Carnival the Oriental? Because suddenly then the music of the discovery music, the discovered music of Mr. Ehrhardt sounds like this. Okay, is this now their new marketing, that you make something totally different and you put in other ensembles? I mean, it's a kind of world music.
Well, it's Janissary music, isn't it?
Yeah.
With this sort of Turkish style, which was popular at the time.
Yes, it's the story started that the Innsbruck Festival asked us to play to program a concert with what has a relation to the Orient, and then we made researches, and then we found the Turkish group Saband with Ivanov. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we started to make a program. How was the music of the Serai in the real Serail.
Okay.
And we played the music of the Serail, like Entführung aus dem Serail or Süßmeier Ballet of Serail.
As interpreted by Western ears.
Yes, and when the ambassador, the Turkish ambassador, came to Louis XIV, and he brought the whole stuff, and also the musicians, and then to think on, when the European musician, when the French musicians and the Turkish musicians would have heard each other and starting to do music with each other. What could it have been? And this is it.
Okay. But then you started also to kill Handel, I would say, no? So what is this? Israel in Egypt from slavery to freedom.
Yeah. It's an oratorio of the three monotheistic world religions. And we have altogether the Old Testament, the same text, in all three religions. And and Handel took exactly the Old Testament as a libretto for his oratorio Israel in Egypt.
Okay.
And Clemens Birnbaum from the Handel Festspiel in Halle, he asked me and Yair Dalal, who is a very famous peace activist in Israel, if we could do an oratorio of the three religions. So we took the wonderful choirs of Handel and took out the arias of Handel and implemented then the stories of the Jewish and the Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah, with their singing. So we had Muslim and Jewish cantors who have been singing along the story going on. So we had the choir, Handel, and then going on in the story with the cantors, and so we are with three religions, and with our music we are telling the whole story together.
Okay. I would not say crossover is a bit too much. It's a bit deeper than crossover, no?
Yeah, because we are not so much mixing it up.
Okay.
No? So like a crossover.
Yeah.
And I thought, as a musician, this is what I can do, to coming together on the stage with other cultures and showing how wonderful there can be a musical dialogue. And if we can listen to each other, then we can do also music together, and then we can also talk and live in peace together.
So the conclusion of our podcast is we started with he started with a Baroque bow,
Yeah.
and now he finished with the Indian sitar.
Yeah, a little bit like that. The next project is Indian Swan Lake.
See, what is it? So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Werner, that you joined us.
It was a pleasure.
So many nice backstage information. So toi for the future. And I love to finish now with one of your beautiful Carnival Oriental tracks. Thank you very much. See you next time.